Story 1. I've always been a man of few secrets, but there was one I held close, fearing it would shatter the world I had built. I met Simon about 3 years ago. Her spirit was infectious, her laughter contagious, and her love genuine. We had our dreams, our plans, and our shared moments. But there was one thing I never shared with her: my inability to have kids. It was a truth I had known for years, a silent burden I carried, always fearing that if she knew, she'd walk away. So I decided to keep it hidden. Imagine my shock when, one evening, she looked into my eyes, and with a mix of joy and nervousness, she told me she was pregnant. How could this be? The one secret I'd kept from her was now standing between us. As days turned into weeks, I was trying to maintain a facade of normalcy, and every time I looked at Simon, I felt a pang of guilt. But before I let my emotions get the best of me, I knew I had to be absolutely certain. I couldn't let my fears and insecurities destroy what we had without concrete evidence. So I decided to consult another specialist, hoping against hope that maybe, just maybe, there had been a mistake in my previous diagnosis. The days leading up to the appointment were agonizing. Every scenario played out in my mind. What if I really could have kids? What if the previous tests were wrong? But deep down, a part of me dreaded confirmation of what I already knew. The day of the appointment arrived, and the doctor's words echoed what I had heard years ago. The reality was clear. I couldn't father a child. The weight of this truth, combined with Simon's pregnancy, felt like a boulder on my chest. I knew I couldn't keep this secret any longer. It was time to face the music. One evening, I sat Simon down. Taking a deep breath, I began to unravel the truth, the secret I had kept hidden for so long. The room was thick with tension as I began to unravel the truth I'd kept hidden. Simon's eyes, once filled with joy and anticipation, now held a mix of confusion and fear. As I finished, there was a heavy silence. She hesitated for a moment, searching for words. I don't understand. Maybe there was a mistake with your tests, she began, her voice quivering. Or perhaps it's a miracle. You know, these things happen. I looked at her, searching for any sign of sincerity. But as she continued, her explanations grew more far-fetched. Maybe it's a dormant gene, or perhaps you healed over time. We've heard stories of couples who were told they couldn't conceive, and then they did. But I knew. Deep down, the implausible excuses only confirmed my worst fears. The trust that had been the foundation of our relationship was now shattered. The pain in my heart was palpable, a sharp sting that wouldn't fade. I loved you, Simon, I whispered, but I can't live with lies. She reached out, tears streaming down her face, but I pulled away. The love we once shared was now overshadowed by betrayal. With a heavy heart, I packed my things and left, the image of her tear-streaked face etched in my mind. As I pinned down the conclusion to this chapter of my life, I turned to you. How does one rebuild after such a betrayal? Any advice or shared experiences will be a beacon of hope in these dark times. Wow, that was truly a heart-wrenching tale. Trust is such a fragile thing, isn't it? Before we dive into our next story, take a moment to answer this question. If you were in the protagonist's shoes, what would you have done differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's dive into our next story. It's a tale that begins with hope and dreams, but quickly takes a dark and twisted turn. Prepare yourself for a roller coaster of emotions. Story 2. My 30-years-old male, wife, 24-years-old female, is ruining my life. She fucked up my whole life. I've been with a girl for a year. I always thought that something was weird or missing. I always felt like she was giving me 50%. But she told me she had a long history of abusive relationships and an abusive childhood. I wanted to be it for her, so I bent over backwards. Whatever she needed or wanted, she got. But our sex life was tumultuous and rocky. She told me she wanted to wait for marriage. which I agreed to despite the fact that I've slept with dozens of women, and I know she's had a past sexual history. We finally got married. Literally, the day after we got married, I found out she had a felony warrant for fraud in another state. Then I go on my company iPad, which she was using, to find hundreds of photos of credit cards, identifications, and open mail of other men. I find pictures of her taking vacations during our relationship with other men. These are times she told me she couldn't see me because she wasn't feeling well. I found conversations about how she intended on selling her engagement ring immediately after the wedding. Funny thing is that she says she accidentally dropped it in the bath and it went down the drain. We finally have sex and it was honestly terrible. I finally tell her that it's over and I'm filing for an annulment. He hits her leg to the point of drawing blood and causing a huge gash. She made false allegations to the police that I sexually assaulted her. I get out of jail 2 days after charges were filed, and I had to plead out to a misdemeanor. But the charge of sexual assault has not arisen yet. I finally find out she has a boyfriend who she's been fucking every single day. And I also find out she's been using her Instagram as a business to lure men, have sex with them for money, and then exploit them. I am shocked. I'm hurt. I feel like my life has been absolutely destroyed by someone that I love. Has anyone ever heard of anyone commuting such a fraud against someone else? That story was filled with deception and unexpected turns. It's shocking how someone can live a double life. What's the biggest lie you've ever uncovered? Let us know in comments. Next up, a tale of a short relationship that left a lasting impact. Sometimes the shortest relationships teach us the most profound lessons. Let's find out more. Story 3. Did she cheat or am I tripping? So, me and my girl have been together for like 6 months. Not that long. Probably one of my shortest relationships. But I have been getting really attached to her. So when she broke up with me, I wasn't shocked, but I was hurt. My girl has always had some problems. She was always sad, but seemed happy with me. However, she's also a great liar. She joked about breaking up with me, so I knew what was coming. She told me she broke up with me because she's not mentally well. I don't know what to think about that, because once I asked her if she cheated on me, and she told me she went to the movies with some guy she knew since she was a kid, but told me they didn't do anything. She told me she was going with her brother, lying to me and all that. So technically, she went on a date with the guy. Did she break up with me for him? Or is it really her mental state? And I don't understand why she'd do that. I am over 6 and 7. I'm great in bed. I'm a done basketball player with multiple scholarship, waiting on Neil deals. I was ready to bring her to my visits with my mom. I was so excited. I don't know why she'd do this. I don't know who she thinks will help her or is better than me, not to sound cocky. This is how she broke up with me. Her. This is not working. I came home and cried again. Me. Question mark. Her. I don't know why, but I need some time to find out some shit about me. Me. Okay. I was fed up because she wouldn't speak to me properly the whole week. Her. Thanks for understanding. Like if it's some dumb meeting or some shit. Her again. You understand, right? Me. Yeah, for sure. I was tired of people leaving me, so I didn't really care. Here. I wanna stay friends? Me. Yeah, that's cool. The end. Every relationship story brings its own set of challenges and lessons. It's always important to trust your gut feeling. What do you think? Did she cheat, or was it all a misunderstanding? Sound off in the comments below. That's the end of our episode for today. If you enjoyed these stories and want more, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep sharing and keep listening.